you for tuning in. And again, we are live on Facebook. That means we can receive your questions and comments. Certainly with our guest today, Asael Ruvalcaba, my friend from Texas. And we're going to meet Asael here in a moment. He is a principal. He is a father. He is a leader, connected around the country and just doing great things, and is going to have a lot to share. I'm certainly excited to learn about that culture in that area. They are right on the border, the Mexican border of East Texas, and I'm looking forward to learning about that and the dynamics there. So we're going to meet Asael in a moment. A quick commercial. I have been doing a number of book studies with my book, The Principal, Surviving and Thriving. Being that we're virtual, I've been able to connect with educators. So I would like to offer that to you or your district if you're watching, and just reach out to me, whether it's via Twitter at Andrew Marotta 21, or my email is andrewmarottallc@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to connect with you on what that could look like. I'd also be happy to discount the books to you 25% to you and your district. So that is something that we're doing. I do want to thank also Dan Spanauer and the Leadership Publishing team for sponsoring the program. Dan writes a great journal called the Coaching and Leadership Journal, but this is also a book he put out, Leading Narratives, which has a number of great stories. Again, this is Dan Spanauer at the Leadership Publishing team. Dan is an educator and a coach. Dan would be happy to discount the journal and this book to you. Use the code ELB Marotta, or ELB20, excuse me. Use that code ELB20, Education Leadership Beyond 20, and you get a 20% discount. And I just wanted to share one of the stories in here. There's a ton of great stories. You can see they're short. I like to use them in speeches, but this is one I've used with my students about checking their work. So the name of the story is called Check Your Work. A store owner overheard a boy talking on the phone, and the boy said, "Ma'am, can you give me the job of cutting your lawn?" Woman on the phone, "I already have someone to cut my lawn." The boy said, "I will cut your lawn for half the price than the person who cuts your lawn now." The woman said, "I'm very satisfied with the person who's presently cutting my lawn. Thank you." The boy said with more perseverance, "I'll even sweep the floor and the stairs of your house for free." The woman said, "No, thank you." With a smile on his face, he hung up. The store owner, who was listening to all of this, walked over to the boy and said, "Son, I like your attitude. I like that positive spirit, and I would like to offer you a job." The boy said, "No, thanks." "But you were really pleading for one," the store owner said. He said, "No, sir. I was just checking my performance on the job I already have. I am the one who is working for that lady, and I already cut her lawn." Great story about caring about your work, checking for feedback, seeing how you're doing and checking on things. So that is something that I do share with my students, and I share that story. So great to see so many people here watching live. A lot of Bobcat pride. We're going to meet the principal here in a moment. He's got some people on here. So I wanted to share those things with you. Those offers are there. But let's get to it. Let's bring Asael in here. We're going to unmute his mic because I know he's got a lot to share. And we are going to welcome in the principal of Rio Hondo High School. Asael, nice to have you on the program.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Thanks a lot for having me here this morning.
Yeah, thrilled to meet you, Asael. I know we've connected on Twitter. And Asael is the principal of Rio Hondo High School. He lives in Brownsville, Texas. And if you don't know where that is right on the border of Texas and Mexico, on the eastern part of Texas. Asael, why don't you tell us, about that area? Tell us about yourself and certainly your role as principal at Rio Hondo.
That's it. Once again, thank you, Andrew, for having me here. I'm a principal at Rio Hondo High School. We have about 550 students. It's a rural community, very, very proud community here in South Texas. Originally from Brownsville, been here all my life. I've been in education for 25 years, and just happy about life and happy about my job and our students and our staff and all the great things that are happening in Rio Hondo.
Yeah. Asael, move over a little bit. I want to see your pretty face there. There you go. We'll get you right in the middle. I can only see the R on Rio Hondo. And you know, you're so close to the Mexican border. I grew up in New York City, Asael, where we had a little bit of every culture, but certainly there was a lot of Mexican culture. And when I was a teacher, I remember meeting those young children coming to my room, not being able to speak a word of English, and it had a great impact on my life to try to help these young people and help them learn English. Tell me about, like, is it almost a dual culture situation? Is everyone bilingual? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. We're about maybe 25 miles away from the Mexican border. Most of our kids and definitely our parents and our grandparents have a lot of roots in Mexico. Um, so yeah, definitely a lot of our kids speak Spanish. But when they're at school and just like me growing up, uh, we were forced to speak English and that's still the I guess the primary language that kids speak. And then at home, what's kind of different, especially if they go to grandma's house or whatnot, they have to speak Spanish.
And is it, I mean, is Spanish a course that's taught in the school, or is it just that everyone speaks Spanish? You don't even have to have it as a course.
No, we still have it as a course. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We still
Okay.
have it.
And how about immigration issues? Asael, do you have a lot of families in there that just arrive at the school and legal, illegal, that type of stuff? Is that something that's constantly present in the community?
It is, but we don't have, those 25 miles do impact us as far as uh, getting a lot of those families. Most of them just uh, we have other cities that are right along the border, like Brownsville, that
Yeah,
they move into. So those are the primary cities that they settle in.
yeah,
But in any case, we still get students out here from Mexico, and it's and even for me, it's a hard adjustment for our students, some of those students, because even me growing up, my first language was Spanish, uh, and I never mastered the Spanish language. Uh, and I had a hard time also with the English language growing up. So it was a mixture of both languages, and even today we still use here in South Texas we have our own vernacular, and we say a lot of words in say in both languages that don't even that we make up our own
translate.
language.
Give me a couple examples. What's an example? So when I come visit you in Brownsville, that I can get by there. Give me a couple examples.
I guess one of the main ones, or at school, a kid might say, like, puedo chaponear el lápiz or el penso. So we even we mix the languages.
Wow.
Uh, Sometimes when we're trying to find a parking spot, like we'll say, parquéate ahí, and that's not even a word, parquéate. But that's we just use them interchangeably.
I love it. I think that's great. And again, I remember fondly those days of teaching in New York City and helping those young people and learning Spanish myself. And I love speaking it. So I love hearing your voice. Um, I say, let's talk about your principal leadership. We have a number of people that know you watching the Bobcat Country here, and Miss Chapa is watching, Miss Alanis Salinas. A lot of I got to work on my pronunciations here. But if you have a question or comment for Asael and I, please put it on there. It's great to see so many people sharing in your leadership. But tell me about your role as principal and your style, Asael. Like, what's your style of leadership?
Uh, my style is I'm a people person, uh, and I put a lot of emphasis on building those relationships with my staff. Uh, if the way I see it, if there's no trust, if they can't trust you, then you don't have anything. So trust is very, very important. So it's something that I work on every single day. Try to be honest. I try to be transparent, and I try to be real. Not only with my staff, but with my students as well. Um, and we're this profession is about serving people. That's what it's about. We're not numbers. we're people, and that means a lot to me. Growing up, those were some of the lessons that my dad taught me. As far as we're humans, and if you can help out a human being, a person, whenever you can, hey, that's an expectation. So that's something that I take pride in, yeah, we're here for our students and our staff first and foremost.
Beautiful. And I know you had shared in our pre-show meeting about the Texas just did cancel for the remainder of the year. So I know that is a hit to all of us. When you are in school, when you are in the building, when you are in those hallways, what are three must-dos every day? What are three things that you are going to accomplish no matter what happens, you're doing?
The first thing I do or try to do is breakfast duty. To me, that kind of sets the tone for everyone. I want the students to see me. I want the teachers to see me, and I try not to miss. So if they see me, hopefully that's a sense of, okay, Mr. R's here. It's going to be a great day. So definitely just my presence alone every single day. I try to get there on time, and I try to be there in the cafeteria by 7:30 in the morning so that everyone can see me. I can start greeting students, and that's very very important to me. Uh, and that's followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Like I see the Pledge of Allegiance, and having that moment of silence being led by me as something that's important. That way, for whoever didn't see me in the morning, they get to hear my voice, and I want to reassure students and staff that, hey, I'm here. It's going to be a great day, and let's rock and roll. The other thing is again lunch duty. I love lunch duty. I enjoy hanging out with students, and building those relationships with students goes a long ways. Uh, just having those private conversations in the cafeteria means a lot to me. So I do miss that now that you know we're not at school, and so I definitely miss the students and the smiles and everything about them.
Yeah. And I say one of the things we started doing at our school now virtually, I got my shtick when we say the pledge. I give a good morning, staff and students. So I've done a few of them, and now we've invited students to do the pledge, and we put that out on Facebook. So if that's not happening, maybe that could be something that you can get rolling there, so you can see students, so they can see you,
Right.
things like that to be able to connect. And then Rick Saldivar says, hey, do you do it on a bullhorn or a blowhorn in the cab? Is that what you do? Okay, he likes the bullhorn.
Yeah, I walk around in the hallways with my bullhorn, and I know the students at times think it's annoying, and but it's my signature in the hallway.
And Laura Marie Salinas says you really genuinely care about everyone you contact with, and she writes here that he believes everyone could be a leader. Tell me about that concept on believing in people for leadership in all.
Uh, you have to build capacity, and you have to believe in them. You have to trust them, and just I've had people believe in me, uh, like yourself, Glenn Robbins, Jimmy McDonough, even my current superintendent. Uh, and when someone believes in you, like I know the feeling that I get, so I want to be able to share that same feeling with my staff members, and I want for them to be leaders, and I always tell them, hey, you know, and I do leave it up to them. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm to support you, but you tell me what we need to accomplish, or you tell me what we need to do so that we can be successful. At the end of the day, if we have successful teachers, I'm gonna be successful. If I don't build them, and if I don't care for them and nurture them, then we're gonna have a tough year.
I hear you on that. The bullhorn is one of your signatures, but also wearing the fresh sneakers at school. I've seen the pictures. I've seen the Friday night lights. I've seen some award ceremonies. I love wearing sneakers too, getting my school colors in there, and almost has become an everyday occurrence for me. But tell me about wearing sneakers to school, and you always dress very professional, so it's not that you're dressing down. But tell me how you work the sneakers in.
Yeah, well, Monday through Thursday, and just to clear it up, I do wear normal dress shoes.
Okay.
But as far as Fridays, I take out the Friday J's, and it definitely gives me a good feeling to wear those Air Jordans, and they're comfortable. And the kids they dig when I wear the Jordans on Fridays. So it's
And
also
why,
a
and
good
why, and why
conversation
Jordan?
starter.
Why Jordan? Is Jordan sponsoring Rio Honda? What's the deal here?
Big time. Let me see. There you go.
Nice. Yeah, baby. Okay. Why Jordan, though? Why
No,
specifically Jordan?
growing up, obviously in the '90s, Michael Jordan, everything was about Michael Jordan, '80s, '90s, but and you know what, and even back when he was at North Carolina was my favorite basketball team at the time. I still follow North Carolina um, because of Dean Smith and Michael Jordan, but so growing up, we couldn't afford any Air Jordans. There's no way my dad would have purchased sneakers for me for that kind of money. But so not too long ago, maybe a couple years ago, my older brother, bought some new Air Jordans, and he was showing them to me. And I told him, man, those are nice. I wish I could buy some. And he's like, hey, dude, like, come on, man, like you can afford some Air Jordans. And he said, you know what? At the end of the day, he's like, one day we're all gonna pass, and you know what? You might be left with that man. I wanted some Air Jordans and I never bought them. So he's like, hey, little brother, just go out and get some, and that's it, man. You've earned, um, the right to purchase some Air Jordans. So go ahead and do that. And I did. I started with that first pair, and now it's kind of a thing going.
That's a beautiful story, and maybe we'll send this to Nike and Air Jordan to send you some pairs down there for you and your students. Um, Before you joined Rio Hondo, Asael, you were at another school. What made what prompted the change to take this new job? You've been there. This is your second year, and what did you do differently? Right when you change jobs, you have a chance to kind of start over. And what made you change jobs there, and what were some things that you did differently?
Well, a couple years ago, I had the opportunity to come to Rio Hondo, and I was hired at the middle school. So I was the principal at the middle school for 2 years. And at that time, we were opening up a new campus, a new building.
Oh, wow.
And so our superintendent basically gave me this experience that had never been given as far as opening up a new building, and just trying to work with the architect and the furniture as far as the layout. I didn't have much of a say so, but still, it was kind of neat going through the process. Um, we were very successful at the middle school, thanks to the staff and the administration. We made some huge gains at the middle school. Uh, and then right before uh, we finished the school, the principal here at the high school, she went and she retired, and so I was approached by the superintendent. He's like, "Hey, uh, I know you've been working for the past 2 years on getting the building going, the new building at the middle school." He's like, "But we need you at the high school, and we're gonna pretty much move you over there." So, but it was kind of bittersweet because I did want to open up the building. Not gonna lie here, and but going to the high school has been a blessing. The way I see it is, I'm a big believer in faith, and I do believe God has put me here at the high school for a reason, and uh, very very grateful for this opportunity to be at the high school.
And you had a big jump after just 1 year, Asaya. That was a huge success for that community and you and your staff. What do you attribute that jump to in the scores, right? It's not all about the scores, like you said. It's the relationships, it's the trust, the honesty, the transparency. Those are the important things. but the numbers are the things that wind up in the reports and the newspaper. You had a big jump after 1 year. Like, what do you attribute that to?
Again, the first thing is that trust, the trust from staff and them believing in me that, you know what, I am the person for the high school. That kind of set the tone. The other things, we did a lot of things, but we even focused on the little things, just on, say, for example, just the fundamentals as far as just posting the objective on a daily basis,
Mm.
making sure that there's an exit ticket or some type of assessment right before the student leaves on a daily basis. We also gave the teachers, and let me go back real quick, our lesson plans, as far as from department to department, weren't uniform. So we
Hmm.
kind of looked at that, and I didn't go in right away and say, okay, we're going to do this change. Uh, we worked with what we had, and then slowly we started making sure that our lesson plans were uniform and that they were formatted uh, as a team. So we made sure that we gave teachers planning time, and that planning time was very, very important for our lesson plans. We started having PLCs every other week, so those PLCs helped in making sure that we looked at the blueprints as far as the TEA issues out. We started looking at release test. Uh, we started speaking a common language, and that common language was very, very helpful in making sure that we accomplished our goals.
Well, congratulations to you and your school community. Again, those numbers aren't the end all be all, but they get the attention of a lot of people. And when they're going in the right direction, and it starts, again with all the people that you mentioned. So that's beautiful.
And
Um,
again, I attribute it to the staff, the teachers, our custodians, our cafeteria personnel, our counselors, tremendous job. Just everyone coming together, uh, working as a family, and that went a long ways. So very, very proud. We had the biggest jump here in South Texas, as far as going from a letter C to a letter B, and very, very proud of that.
Keep rolling with that. You mentioned your dad earlier. Your dad has been a great mentor to you. Tell me about some of the leadership lessons from your dad, as well as I know there's a couple other mentors. Some are watching right now. You've mentioned Glenn Robinson here in New Jersey. But let's start with your dad.
Uh, Obviously, growing up, my dad was my hero. So some of the lessons, I mean, every single day he had a lesson for me. But some of those lessons were, for example, hey, never be late to work. Just hey, it takes zero talent, for you to make sure that you get there on time. Like you don't have to, just get to work on time. Obviously, hard work pays off. Be respectful of your elders, and he would always tell me, "Hey, you're not better than anyone, but at the same time, no one else is better than you."
That's beautiful, beautiful. And tell me about the connection with some of the other mentors that have helped you, including Glenn Robbins, who's watching here today.
Oh, Glenn Robbins. Uh, Again, I go back to people believing in you, and he's one of the persons that I give credit to as far as that he believes in me, and he's a crazy smart guy, very, very smart, very real. I respect his work ethic, all the things that he's doing up in New Jersey, and just a phenomenal leader. And anytime that I try to get ideas, I obviously go to him, and I look up at his Twitter feed, or we'll send daily messages to each other, and just bounce ideas off of. So great person.
Yeah.
The other person that helped me a lot here in South Texas is Jimmy McDonough, and he's an assistant superintendent here in a neighboring school district, and he taught me a lot about administration, as far as even just even to the attire, how you should be dressing and all that, and also his work ethic is second to none.
It's great. It's important that we have that mentorship and people learning from each other. And I'm sure you've done that over your career to many people. But so it's such great to have the power of the PLN, right? To connect with educators. Here you are connecting with people from New Jersey. You've been out there to a few conferences to present. And it's just beautiful to see, bringing our country together. Now, certainly during this time, too, where we can't be in touch with other people. But we as school leaders, if you have that PLN, you can. So that's great to hear. And kudos to you for building those relationships.
Yes, sir. And no, definitely very grateful for Twitter. Twitter has opened a lot of doors, and it's made me a better person, not only on the personal side but also on the professional side. So definitely growing every single day, learning from people all over the nation and even around the world. Um, I guess another mentor, and I do want to mention, and growing up, my other person that always had me in check was my brother. Uh, and he made sure I stayed away from all the drugs and all those things that were going on in our neighborhood. Uh, and he would always keep me in check. And I'm talking about physically, he would beat me up. Uh, and he made sure that I didn't get too high. And he would I even credited him to making sure that I got into fights there in my neighborhood. And now I know why. And he was just trying to make sure that I wouldn't get picked on there in my neighborhood. So, definitely another mentor of mine.
I feel a movie coming on, Asael, hearing these stories.
Yes, sir.
Asael, I commented to you earlier, it's so quiet in your house. You have a big family, you got dogs, you have 5 kids. How are you balancing it all right now? Your family, your job. How are you doing it all and getting it all done?
It's, you know what, and I'll say this, it's been a bit overwhelming as far as this remote instruction. And they do respect my space and my position, and I have to be available for my staff. Uh, and just trying to juggle and manage Voxer, email, text, phone calls, uh, Microsoft team meetings, Facebook, Twitter. um, it's hard, but yeah, definitely my family does know the role that I have to play.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. How about you particularly? What are you doing for yourself? What are you doing to take care of yourself and sharpening your saw that you stay sharp and that you feel good, that you can continue to lead? What are some things that you're doing?
The first thing is exercising. I have to go for a run. I started this 30 for 30 challenge. So there's some people out there, some fit leaders, some ZAS family that they're taking on this challenge. So basically, running a 5K every day for 30 days.
Wow.
So Murphy from Brenham, Texas, him and I, we kind of started this, and it's been great. So definitely just building that sweat, and once I'm out there running, it kind of releases some stress, and I enjoy that. It keeps me away from the devices, so that's a good thing. But yeah, definitely exercise is something that I believe in, and I know Ryan Jackson from Tennessee. His line is always live better, lead better. So I definitely take that to heart.
I like that. It's currently snowing here in Pennsylvania, so it's been
Oh
very
wow!
frustrating to not run. And I saw the temperature has been in the 70s down there and 80s. So
Oh yeah.
that's beautiful. And that's great to be outside. It's been so frustrating with the weather. I say, we're going to wrap up soon. We're going to get to rapid fire. But was there anything else you wanted to share, or a question that I didn't ask you? Again, you have a lot of people from your community watching. You have a lot of experience. Was there anything else that we didn't touch on that you wanted to share?
No, but I do want to give some shout outs if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
And just a shout out to my staff there in Rio Hondo and the entire district. We were thrown this COVID-19, uh, and our teachers, and I'll be honest, we were not prepared for this. I don't think anyone was. But they've been rolling with the punches, and they've been very patient. They've been very empathetic, compassionate. And so I do want to thank our staff, not only at the high school level, but at the middle school and at the elementary level. Main office, everyone has been, we've taken on this challenge, and we're doing good. And also a shout out to my custodians who are still working. They're not working on a Saturday, but during the week they're still working. Our cafeteria personnel and our nurse, they continue to distribute meals to our students. So they're still out there, and God bless them, and thank you for all that they do. And one last shout out to my seniors. I definitely miss you guys, and we're gonna get through this, and somehow we're gonna make some type of graduation happen for you guys. So thank you guys, and that's it. Miss you.
Beautiful, well said. Val Tagle says she loves you on the Voxer here. And Rick shared, Rick Saldivar, you gone vegan here. Is that true?
Well, at the beginning of this year, I started. Well, I didn't start it, but my wife started me on this vegan, and I gladly accepted it. So it had a lot of positives for my first couple of months here in 2020, but obviously with this COVID-19, the vegan has kind of gone off by the wayside. But yeah, it did make me feel better, and it gave me some energy. So definitely that plant-based diet, I did enjoy it.
Good for you. I know it's steak country down there. Beef.
I know it's hard.
You got who's the guy that does the steak advertising? He loves Austin, Texas. The actor.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Asael, let's get to rapid fire to get you back to your family and give you some time off here on a Saturday. Rapid fire. These are quick answers, quickest that comes to your head. We'll go with last book you read.
Live Your Excellence by Jimmy Casas.
Yeah, man. Yeah, beautiful. Last movie you saw.
The Way Back with Ben Affleck. That was at the movies.
The basketball. Yeah. How was that?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, good movie.
Okay. Favorite place to travel?
Hey, the entire state of Texas, man. So much to see, so much to do.
Beautiful. Something that motivates you?
Life itself.
A pet peeve of yours?
Tardiness.
Amen, brother. The most famous person from Texas, in your opinion?
Probably either Matthew McConaughey or Willie Nelson.
Okay. The best thing about the Gulf that you are fond of?
Oh man, the warm water. I miss it. Right now the beaches are closed. And definitely the seafood. We have the best shrimp in the entire world.
Wow. Cowboys or Texans?
Hey, that's not even a question. Everyone knows Cowboys.
Aren't you close to Houston now? How is that?
Cowboys all the way. Remember, the Texans didn't exist.
Yeah. Well, you had the Oilers.
We had the Oilers, but nah, I've always been a Cowboy. The elementary that I grew up in, the mascot was the Cowboys. And the high school that I graduated from were the Cowboys.
You know, I'm a Giants fan up here in New York. That's the only
I sorry for you.
Oil and water. But I do want to come down to that stadium and check that out. And best purchase under $100 that has had a great impact on your life?
Well, aside from these reading glasses that were $10.99 at the dollar store, no, but I would say Twitter. Twitter, if all educators should be on Twitter, great investment, and you spend $0.
Yeah, there's a lot of return there. I agree with you. Something that Asael Ruvalcaba that people don't know about.
I tried out for the Cincinnati Reds.
Wow. Let's break for a second. Tell me about that.
I'm here.
You're a baseball guy.
Yeah, baseball guy. And you know what? A couple of years ago, we took our kids to go watch a game between the Yankees and the and the Astros. So we're there and we see Aaron Judge and so then my daughter, my oldest daughter, she turns around, she's like, Dad, she sees all these huge guys. She's like, Dad, she pats me on the back and she's like, now I know why you never make the major leagues. I'm like, hey, thanks a lot.
I miss baseball. Yeah, man. I believe we all have a book in us. What would be the title of your book?
Man, something about defying odds, but it has to be something with where I come from, something dealing with my roots and uh, just because I'm very proud of where I come from.
Yeah. Short-term goal, 3 to 5 months.
You know what? Getting ready for a possible remote instruction in the fall. We don't know what's going to happen with COVID-19, so just trying to get ready and trying to get our staff ready and our parents and our community, and hopefully we can come up with a great plan for all of our students.
Long-term goal, 3 to 5 years.
You know what? I guess I've been inspired by Glenn Robbins and the entire Twitter community, but trying to create a national level conference, educational conference here in South Texas. Our educators would definitely our educators would definitely benefit by this. So trying to coordinate, trying to put up an event like this here in South Texas.
Beautiful. Count me in. A book recommendation, you certainly mentioned Jimmy Casa's book, Live Your Excellence. I know that just came out. Is there a book that you love, that's something that you go back to?
Stillness is the Key, I guess, by Ryan Holiday. Great book. It talks about stoicism and I enjoyed the stories that were included on there by it had a lot of sports and a lot of history and that's the perfect book for me. I'm a history guy and a sports guy.
Beautiful. And I know we had the same coffee mug, but yours has a cool logo on the back. Tell me about your quote here, send it. What does that mean? And we're going to send it in here in a moment. But yeah, move it over a little more so we can see it. Yeah. Okay. It says send it on there. There you go. What does that mean to you? And where does that saying come from?
Send it. I use that quote every single day. Anytime I answer the phone, when I'm speaking to a teacher, even in the cafeteria when I'm picking up plates, I always tell the kids, "Hey, send me your plate so I can throw it away." So I say, "Hey, send it, send it." But basically, it reminds me that hey, I'm here to serve you, and that's what it's a reminder of. I'm serving you. So send me whatever problem you have, or send me whatever question you might have, and I'm here to help. So that's what it reminds me of.
Send it. Asael, you did a fantastic job. We're going to wrap up here. We're going to play some of this music again, if I could cue this up. This is Asael Ruvalcaba, everyone. His Twitter is on here, Asael_Ruvalcaba, and certainly his school's Twitter's on here as well. The Bobcats, Rio Hondo. Asael, you did a fantastic job. I really appreciate you coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you a lot.
You stay on the line before you go. Let me cue this music up. All right, Asael Ruvalcaba, everyone. Let me play this. Figure out how to do it. Sorry, here we go. All right, there we go. We're going to sign off here on Education Leadership Beyond. This was show number 123. Shout out to the Education Podcast Network, Voice and Radio Canada, iTunes and beyond. Thank you so much, everyone. Follow Asael on Twitter. And if I could help you in any way, don't hesitate to reach out at Andy Marotta 21. Send it, baby. You stay on that line, Asael.